Hello dear students, welcome to CR Digital Classes. Today you're going to learn about how do we compute income from capital gain. Okay, so any problem asked on income from capital gain, how are you going to solve it is what we're going to learn first. Now what is income from capital gain? Income from capital gain is nothing but when a capital asset is sold or transferred, then any remuneration or any kind of consideration, any amount that the person receives on the sale of this capital asset is called as capital gain. Okay, so basically, capital gain is nothing but there are two things for us to remember, that there should be a capital asset plus there should be some transfer of asset. So when this capital asset is transferred or sold, the resultant amount is nothing but your capital gain. Okay. Now, how do we solve problem or how do we compute this capital gain amount is what we need to see. So there is one fixed pro forma that you need to remember, that any question asked to you based on income from capital gain, this is the fixed pro forma that we are going to follow throughout the chapter or throughout the unit. Here, the first thing is consideration received. Now, what is consideration received? Consideration received is nothing but, in simple words, if we say, it is the sales price. When I sold away my building, I get some amount for the sale of that building. That amount what I receive on the sale of the capital asset is called as consideration received. It is sometimes in some books you can also see at sales consideration also. So both mean the same. It is nothing but the selling price of your asset. So that amount which you receive on the sale of your asset is called as consideration received. Then the next thing is transfer expenses. So while you are transferring your asset or selling your asset, there are some expenses which you will incur. Now, like say Mr. Sham, he wants to sell his building. Okay. Now, for the purpose of selling his building, he might require some additional paperwork. Like he might want to advertise or hire some brokers for the purpose of selling that building. So, any of these expenses which he incurs towards the sale of that particular asset, in our example building, is called as transfer expenses. Okay, so when we deduct consideration received and transfer expenses, the resultant value is called as net consideration. So what is net consideration? Net consideration is transfer expenses deducted from the sales consideration received. Okay, so that is net consideration. Then you can see over here something called as indexed cost of acquisition and indexed cost of improvement. From the net consideration, when these values are deducted, the resultant value is nothing but income from capital gain. Okay. Now, what is indexed cost of acquisition and what is indexed cost of improvement? For example, a building has been bought 10 years ago at a price of rupees 8 lakhs. Okay. Now, when the person wants to sell his building in this previous year, which is 2023 to 2024, the price of this building is rupees, the current value of this building is rupees 20 lakhs. Okay, this is the current value of the building. Now, if the building, let's say, is sold for a price of rupees 30 lakhs, okay, from this 30 lakh, if you deduct 20 lakhs, which is the actual cost of your building, it is going to give you 10 lakhs, right? But from 30 lakhs, if you deduct 8 lakhs, what will it be? It will be 22 lakhs, right? Now, is it good to pay income on 10 lakhs or 22 lakhs? Anyone would like to pay the income tax on this 10 lakh and not on 22 lakh. So this is because, why is this from 8 lakhs to 10 lakhs? It is because of inflation. So to protect the taxpayers, now this 10 lakh and 22 lakh, as you can see, is a very big difference amount. So the tax rate also will be very different for 10 lakhs and for 22 lakhs, right? So for this purpose, there is something called as indexation done. This is done for the benefit of the taxpayers and so that the original value of the asset can be considered and not this value of rupees 8 lakh, which was 10 years ago. So that is the reason why indexation is done, to protect the taxpayers from the inflationary rate. This is the meaning of indexation. Now, from where will we get these values of index cost of acquisition and index cost of improvement? Now, the meaning of indexed cost of acquisition is when I have purchased the asset. I purchased the asset, let's assume 10 years ago. Okay, that is the period of acquisition. I have acquired that asset or purchased that asset. In that case, there is something called as indexed cost of acquisition. Now, what is the formula? There are two things that you need to remember. One, that has the asset been bought before 1st April 2001? If it was bought before 1st April 2001, then the formula to calculate index cost of acquisition will be cost of asset into cost inflation index. CII stands for cost inflation index of the transfer year divided by 100. What does it mean? Here it means that index cost of acquisition is equal to cost of asset. That means 10 years ago, if I have bought the building for 8 lakhs, that is the cost of asset. Okay. Then what is CII of transfer year? Now, one term, there is something called as cost inflation index. Now, this cost inflation index is given by the government of India every year. Okay, it is given by the government of India. We'll simply take the values whatever the government of India has given. So here CII is a fixed value given by the government of India, then divided by 100. This is a formula when the asset is purchased before 1st April 2001. If the asset is purchased after 1st April 2001, then what is the formula? Cost of asset into CII of transfer year, cost inflation index of transfer year. That means when the asset is sold. Okay, divided by CII of purchase year, when the asset was purchased. So cost of transfer year, that means the year in which the sale was made, divided by the year in which the cost inflation index of the year in which the product was purchased or the asset was purchased. Now these are the two things that you have to see. The entire formula is same, as you can see. It is as it is. The only thing is, instead of CII of purchase year, here you will have the value as 100. Okay. So the formula is same as, let's repeat, index cost of acquisition is equal to cost of the asset into CII of transfer year divided by CII of purchase year. If it is before 1st April 2001, then instead of purchase year, it will be 100. Okay. So this is the formula for index cost of acquisition. Now, sometimes in your question, instead of giving your cost of acquisition or along with the cost of acquisition, there is something given as fair market value of the asset, FMV. Okay. If in the question the fair market value of asset is given to you, then what do you have to do is this part of your formula, this part will change. Now what will happen when cost of asset is given and fair market value both are given to you in the question? Fair market value as on 1st April 2001, both the values are given, then you have to choose which value is higher. The remaining part of the formula remains the same. Okay, so you will have to see of these two values which are given to you in the question, which value is higher. Now this is applicable in all the three cases. Okay, whenever fair market value is given, you will have to see which value is higher. Either the cost of asset is higher or the fair market value is higher. Which value is a highest of the two. Okay, that is the formula for indexed cost of acquisition. Then for indexed cost of improvement. What is improvement? Now let's say Mr. A owns a building and that building is only one floor. Okay, it has been bought 10 years back. So later on, maybe after the 10th year, Mr. A wants to construct another floor to this building. So since it was only first floor, now they have added another floor called as the second floor. Okay, Now this second floor, what is added to this building is called as, the value for that is called as indexed cost of improvement. That means if there is any improvement made to the asset, whether it is any floor is added, or it was only a plot, a land which was bought, on that land building is constructed, any improvement of the asset done, in that case we have indexed cost of improvement, which has to be calculated. So this may not be applicable in all the problems. In some problems there may be an additional information given that during this period, for the existing building another floor was added, or the person had land, after 5 years he constructed a building, or a person had raw gold and they converted that into a jewelry. All of this is nothing but improvement. So in that case, this formula will be applicable, where indexed cost of improvement is equal to cost of improvement into CII of transfer year, that means the year in which the asset is being sold, divided by CII of improvement year, that means the year in which improvement was done. Okay, so for your problem, you have to remember or look for few things in your question. One, what is the sales price or what is the selling price of the asset? Second, are there any expenses incurred for the sale of this asset? Two things. When you deduct these two things, you will get net consideration. Then the next thing is you have to see if the asset is a capital, long-term capital asset, because indexation is allowed only in case of long-term capital asset. Okay, so if the asset is a long-term capital asset, then index cost of acquisition will be applicable. Index cost of acquisition will be applicable, right? And the next thing in the question, you have to further read that, is there any improvement made to the asset? If any improvement has been made, then we will go ahead with the deduction of index cost of improvement. Okay, only if improvement is made, then we will deduct the CII for the index cost of improvement. Okay, if nothing is mentioned about improvement, you will only have consideration received, transfer expenses, net consideration, index cost of acquisition, that's all. Then the final answer that you get is called as income from capital gain. Okay, this is how you solve a problem based on income from capital gain. Now let's see some questions that have been asked and we will solve one problem together. Now in this class, today we'll be doing another problem based on income from capital gain. Let's see what is the question that has been asked. Here it is given to us that Mr. Tukaram purchased a plot on March 21st, 1998. March 21st, 1998 for how much? For rupees 4,25,000. And during the year 2013 to 14, he constructed a residential house for rupees 5 lakh. So here you need to see that first it is a plot, and then in the year 2013-14 on this plot a residential house was created or constructed. So you can understand that this is a case of index cost of improvement, which will come in picture now. Okay, let's see further. Fair market value of the asset is given to us as on 1st April 2001, which is rupees 8 lakh, as you can see. He sold the house in the for rupees 52,50,000 in the year 2019. Okay, so it means it is obviously a capital asset. Then selling expenses are again given to us as percentage. It is 3% of the net consideration. Now we also have the CI values given to us for this year 13-14. That is, this will help us where when we are computing our indexed cost of improvement. Then we have the CI value given for 2019-20, which is 289. Now, as I told you, for your examination, which is in the year 2025, your previous year is 2023 to 2024. So for that, the CII for the previous year 2023 to 2024, CII is 348. Like how it was given previously, it may be given to you or sometimes it may not be given. So do not get tense when the CII value of the previous year is not given. You remember that it is 348. Luckily it is good if it is given to you in the question. Sometimes if in case it is not given, always remember CII for the previous year is 348. Okay, now let's see how do we solve this problem. As I told you, the first thing that you always have to start with is the net consideration amount. So for the net consideration, what do we require? We require the consideration received. Right? For us to calculate the net consideration, what do we need? We need the consideration received, then our selling expenses. So how much is the consideration received, or what is consideration received? The sale value. So the building is sold for 52 lakh 50,000. So it is 52 lakh 50,000. Then after this we have to look for selling expenses or transfer expenses. So selling expenses are given to us as percentage as 3%. So this will be your first working note on selling expenses. So how much will that be? It is going to be 52 lakh 50,000 into 3%. So that will give us an answer of 1,57,500. So it is 1,57,500. When we subtract these two values, we will get net consideration. Okay. So what will you do? 52 lakh 50,000 minus 1,57,500. So it is going to be 50 lakhs 92,500. I hope you all are solving along with me. So that is 50 lakh 92,500. Then since it is a long term capital asset, what did I tell you? You will have to calculate our indexed cost of acquisition. What is the formula for indexed cost of acquisition? Indexed cost of acquisition is equal to cost of the asset or fair market value, whichever is higher, into CII of transfer year divided by CII of the year of purchase. Now, when was this building purchased? It is purchased in 1998. That means it is before 1st April 2001. So, what will be our formula? Let's quickly write here. Indexed cost of acquisition is equal to cost of asset or fair market value into CII of transfer year divided by 100. Okay, so for us we have to see whether fair market value is given to us in the question so that we can compare. Is the fair market value given? Yes. The fair market value is rupees 8 lakh, whereas the actual cost of the asset is 4 lakh 25,000. So from these two values, whichever is higher, cost of asset or fair market value. So for us, fair market value is higher. That means for us here, this value that what we are going to take is going to be 8 lakhs into CII of transfer year. For us, our year of sale is 2023 to 24. So cost inflation index is going to be 348 divided by 100. So 8 lakhs into 348 divided by 100. This will give us a value of 27 lakh 84,000. So index cost of acquisition is 27,84,000. Then, as I told you, for this type of problem or in this question, it is given to us that on the plot which was purchased, a building is constructed. Okay, so that means we have here an example or a type of problem where index cost of improvement also we have to consider. So what is the formula for index cost of improvement? This is going to be your third working note on indexed cost of improvement. Again, the formula for index cost of improvement is cost of improvement into CII of transfer year divided by CII of the year in which improvement was made. So cost inflation index of improvement year. Now you may be asking why CII of improvement year and not 100? Because this improvement which was made is after 1st April 2001. You can see here on the question that the building was constructed in the year 2013-14. Because it was constructed after 1st April 2001, our formula will be like this. If it is before 1st April 2001, then we would have divided it by 100. Okay, so let's calculate this now. Cost of improvement is how much? It is rupees 5 lakhs. RCI of previous year is 348, and then 2013-14, that means the year in which the improvement was done, so that is 220. This is given to you in the question. These values will be given to you in the question. You do not have to memorize those. The only value that you have to remember is 348, which is a cost inflation index for the year 2023 to 2024. Okay, so let's see what will be our index cost of improvement, which is 5 lakh into 348 divided by 220. So this is 7,90,909. Yes. So this is 7,90,909. So when you deduct these values, you're going to get income from capital gain. So what do you have to do? 50 lakh 92,500. 50,92,500 minus 27,84,000 minus 7,90,909. So the final answer will be 15,17,591. Okay, this is your income from capital gain. How much is it? 15,17,591. Now let's see what we have done quickly for the entire problem. Okay, so first we looked for what is the consideration received, that is our selling price of the house. So how much is that given? It is given to us as 52,50,000. Directly this value we have entered over here. Then the selling expenses. Where did we get these selling expenses from? It is given in the question 3% as the selling expenses. So how do we calculate? Selling expenses will be calculated on the net consideration. So that will be 3% into 52,50,000. So this is the value that you will get. Then when you subtract these two values, you will get something called as net consideration. Okay. On this net consideration, two things are applicable. One, index cost of acquisition. Two, index cost of improvement. Here, index cost of improvement is applicable because firstly, the asset which was purchased is a plot. On this plot, a building was constructed. Because there is an improvement in the plot or in the capital asset, index cost of improvement will also be considered. So first we have calculated index cost of acquisition. How do we calculate index cost of acquisition? We have a formula where index cost of acquisition is equal to cost of the asset or fair market value, whichever is higher, into cost inflation index of the transfer year divided by 100. Why divided by 100? Because this asset was purchased before 2001. That is the reason why we are dividing it by 100. Then you will get a value over here which is 27,84,000. You will just put it up here in the pro forma. After that we have index cost of improvement. For this we have a formula. Index cost of improvement is equal to cost of improvement into cost inflation index of transfer year divided by cost inflation index of improvement year. Improvement year is nothing but the year in which the improvement was done. So after substituting these values, you're going to get the final answer as 7,90,909. From the net consideration, when you deduct these two values, this answer, that is 15,17,591, is your income from capital gain. So your conclusion is, as it is only asked about income from capital gain, your final conclusion in the solution should be, therefore, the income from capital gain for Mr. Tukaram is this much, is rupees 15,17,591. I hope you have understood how do we solve problems based on income from capital gain. As these are some practice problems which you can practice so that you understand the concept even better. So these are some 2 practice questions. This will help you understand the topic even better because you will be solving it by yourself. So these are the types of questions which will be asked in your exam. Do practice well. The only thing that you need to remember is that small pro forma and those formulae. Rest, everything is sorted, right? So if you have a calculator in hand and you remember this pro forma along with the formulae, it is easy to solve problems asked on income from capital gain. I hope you've understood how to solve these problems. Thank you, dear students. All the best from SIA Publication.